Okay. Man, my voice is a little scratchy, so this might not have the same effect that I'm hoping, but here goes. Baldhead P-word got lots of juice. Lopsided on the curb, so I blocked the coops. Watch the deuce. Man, I'm stingy with my kitty cat, daddy. Did you ever really love me, Stevie? Pull up in the burr. Wrist on burr. P-wood on purr. I don't even brake when I'm backing up. I'll swerve on an N-word if he acting up. I done push more sixes than a play date. Get money by the millions. Fuck a... Oh, shoot. I wasn't supposed to say the F-word. Oh. F-word a day right, N-word. Your boss-up swag got him drooling like a newborn babe. The dollars in the eyes got him blinded by a masquerade. The boys always spending all their money on love. The boys always spending all their money on love. That's from The Boys, sung by Nicki Minaj. Hey, boys. We're back with The Boys. Season 3, Episode 7.
Girls are welcome too, because they do it better.
Yeah. It's Here Comes a Candle to Light You to Bed. And shit, I introed this one more like a Duds episode. I was going to be like, who wants to start us off? That's what I say in those. So who wants to start us off?
Oh man, this is a low energy Saturday morning classic Duds cast.
Yeah,
maybe we need to do the nighttime ones because like those do seem to have a different energy.
I'm only like 80% conscious. So I can't even talk right.
Conscious.
I'm still like on migraine hangover. I mean, I guess we might as well just start with the big reveal, which I thought was kind of telegraphed, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't like say it before or think of it before. But
is that Soldier Boy kills Mindstorm?
Yeah, and he's also smokes the marijuana.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
It's not very
ritualistically. No, but Soldier Boy is Homelander's father, which seems kind of obvious. Like,
I was not obvious to me. I guess I didn't.
Oh, really?
Well,
that's my third note of the episode. I was like, they're related. I get it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's even a part where, when Homelander's talking to Maeve, who is not dead.
Yes.
Obviously.
And he like says how he's like gonna harvest her eggs to like have a kid, and he's like that'll be like more powerful than either of us or whatever.
More powerful than Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he said? Oh,
he said that too. Because
okay.
Ryan's with a hat. He's half. He's got a human. He's a
but if you go with like Dragon Ball Z rules, that makes you stronger. Like go on. Yeah. I thought I didn't realize that's what he said. I thought he said he'll be stronger than I am. I think he did. He said Ryan.
Oh. I thought he said both. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I thought that could have also just been a little bit of foreshadowing towards that, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
I guess do you guys think that they'll team up, or because I kind of think that Soldier Boy is gonna want to like team up, but
I don't know.
Homelander might still.
Homelander's not gonna want to team up. Yeah, Homelander's wants to be the center of attention, even though Soldier Boy was like, "Oh, I would have just given you the spotlight."
Yeah,
but Homelander doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. He doesn't. He's just gonna like. I think he might like bait him in, and then set a trap for him or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
And just because like next week is the season finale, I could definitely see. I don't know if they're like gonna kill off Soldier Boy. Like if Homelander's like, yeah, like let's team up and work together, and then he kind of double crosses him or what, or if because we don't know how many seasons this show's gonna go. Like if Soldier Boy's gonna just become like part of like the canon of like the characters, or like a recurring thing.
I think he's gotta die one way or another, either by Homelander or Black Noir, because they're setting up that whole like
that's true. That is a good point.
His relationship with him,
Yeah.
And also it's kind of reaching a point of like, you know, unless his character drastically changes somehow, I feel like his character has run its course. Like, because
Soldier Boy, yeah.
Yeah, because especially now he's like, they burned the bridges with him. Or they burned, like, Huey burned the bridge between him and the boys by trying to help Mindstorm. You know, he was going to like, help him get away or whatever. And then also that revelation ties him in with Homelander. So, yeah, I think one way or another, I think Soldier Boy's dead next week. Or incapacitated at the very least.
I could see that, like, there can only be one villain, I think. One, like, main guy. And I'm kind of sick of it being Homelander. It feels really one note, and I could see them doing, like, I could see it being possible that there's a showdown between Soldier Boy and Homelander dies, and then Soldier Boy becomes the main bad guy. But that's not gonna happen. Homelander's too, like, entangled with everything else. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But Homelander just is boring to me now. He's just boring.
I still like Homelander, but I do think that I've been a little less I don't know, the first and second seasons especially, I was just very engaged and into, like, his presence in the show. And now and now he's more just like another character. I'm not like as, you know, just I don't know. He's still
focused.
Good. Like, I'm not bored by him yet, but I do kind of have that worry, and maybe that's something that the comics do actually do better than the show. I'll give the comic prop in some areas, is that, like, because the comics are a more, like, just widespread, like, epic scale. Like, the Seven and Homelander are present the whole time. Like, the first issue has Annie joining the Seven and meeting them all and stuff. So, like, they're there the whole time, but Homelander and the Seven aren't even, like, the main focus until the final, like, third of the series, maybe the, like, second half. But you go a while in that with them just being, like, just present, you know, not nearly, like, the focus. They're just there. They're another team of superheroes, but, like, basically the boys take down all these other superhero teams, and then they get to the Seven, and then you kind of get more into, like, the backstory of the Homelander or the other characters and stuff. And that kind of makes them feel like when you get to the end of the series and you get to that climax, it feels earned but also not overplayed, I guess.
Yeah, I would say with, like, the first two seasons, I think they were very, like, show not tell with Homelander, or I don't know if it was tell not show. Whichever one, it seemed like his like the allusions to his, like, sociopathy and, like, narcissism were much more restrained or, like, subtle. Like, you got these little tastes of it, like, every once in a while, but then season 3 is very much like, do you get it? This guy's nuts. Like, I still, like you said, I still enjoy it. I'm not entirely bored with the character yet either, but something's gotta happen.
Yeah,
it's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm ready for something to happen.
That's what I guess that's where I'm at, because season 1 I think is more where there's, like, the weird, like, little hints, like, you're like, oh, okay, this guy's not right. But then in the second season is where he really starts to, you know, the close-ups where he's, like, grinding his teeth and shit, and it's like, okay. And then he's still kind of doing the same stuff. He's still, like, twisting everything and trying to control everything, and it's like, okay, I need something new out of you. Like, there's no, that character just feels like treading water a little bit, where almost every other character, even, like, Black Noir, like, he's getting something added to him. The A Train thing with him, like, getting Blue Hawk's heart is fucking
Yeah.
good. I love
Yeah,
that.
that was. Yeah.
Like what if he just becomes racist?
It's like, I get it now.
I get it now.
Yeah.
You're just born with it. Yeah, I don't know.
I do think that's a good
Everybody's
thing,
getting
though.
Stuff.
Is that everyone is getting more like screen time and everyone else
Right.
is like getting kind of more developed? Because for a while it was just like the Butcher Huey Homelander show with like everyone else
Yeah.
kind of getting like little bits. But no, it seems much more even now where everyone's getting fleshed out.
It's almost like they like were like, oh, Homelander's the guy we need to focus on, and they like sped him along, and he's like level 10 and everybody else is like level 2, and they're like, oh, okay, now we got to catch everybody else up because they're all like they're not good for the party right now because we can't just have the one guy carry. That's I don't know. There's definitely some interesting things going on, but it's like he has kind of fallen. He's not as center in the show the past like the past like 3 or 4 episodes. It seems like he's present, but he just like comes in. He like all I can remember from this one is he did the speech with MM's baby daddy. I don't know, not baby daddy, but his
lame stepdad.
Yeah, he did. He was in that scene, and then I remember the Maeve scene, and then
The milk.
the milk. Yep. Okay, I forgot about that one.
With the nice use of Crimson and Clover. I actually laughed when that song started playing.
Yeah.
And then the main one with like Starlight at the end with the
that was
camera.
good.
That was good.
That got like I actually did like an oh shit.
It was very well done.
But I'm sure that'll get, they are like we were talking about last week. Oh, they're gonna like just like anything that Starlight said, it's just gonna be like, oh, she's a terrorist, and so they'll probably just say like, oh, that was photoshopped. That wasn't actually Homelander. It was there'll be excuses for it and stuff.
It could. I'm wondering, hoping that maybe what's going to happen, too, is that Vought's going to be like, yeah, you're too much of, like, a liability, so we have to let you go. And then maybe that'll... If they did this, I would say that, like, the next season would have to be the last season. But, like, they would, like, let him go, and then he's going to, go ape shit and kind of kick off like the final arc or whatever.
Not that like the episode titles, I guess the episode titles have had some sort of significance, but the next episode is called The Instant White Hot Wild, and I don't know if I can picture like Homelander getting fired and just like disappearing for a while and then like coming back as like the super villain, like the scorched earth, like he was talking about with, I think he was talking to Ashley. That was a conversation that was like, or maybe it was Starfire, but he was just like, what are you going to do? Release that damning video of me? Then I won't have anything to lose. And I'm just going to like raise New York City because I don't need them anymore and I'm super powerful. So it's like, it's kind of a constant stalemate in that way where like, it doesn't really matter how much dirt you have like on him because the alternative is him destroying everything.
Yeah, him just like self-kinging himself and just instead of being loved, being feared. Like I don't think it matters to him.
It lights up the same synapses in his brain.
Right. Yeah. He's just like, he's got to have something though. He seems like. You think that he'd just be like suicidal, but he's too narcissistic to be suicidal, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It feels like the show could go. It feels like the next season or the season after should be the final season. Like I really hope they don't like milk it. They don't turn it into like The Office or something and just like Homelander and Huey and Butcher leave the show and then they're like, oh well, now it's gonna be MM's gonna be the manager. And the bad guy is Starlight now, or I don't know.
It just becomes all of the things that Vought satirizes, like on their social media accounts. Like just kicking this thing down the road as long as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's, I don't know. I guess it depends on, because this season's 8 episodes. I feel like if they did 10 episodes, they could get it done in one season. The rest of it. But I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think and it's kind of like going off what you said about like, oh, the, Homelander's at 10, everybody else is like, yeah, I feel like everything else needs 2 seasons, but then Homelander could just be like one more season. So I don't know if they're gonna like, maybe he's gonna go up north to find the 3-eyed raven, and they're just gonna like not have him in the show for a season, and then he'll come back for the final season, or what?
Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they disappeared like one of the main characters for a season or 2.
Right.
I'm just like why? I don't know. Like if Homelander goes away, it feels like what is everybody else gonna do? They'll have like their little dramas, like are Huey and Starlight gonna be together? But like, what are they gonna be? What is the overall like?
Yeah.
Like Hugh or Homelander's going to get the 3-eyed raven. We have to be prepared when he gets back. So then they're gonna spend 8 or however many episodes of them like.
Yeah, that's true. Bran wasn't like the central focus of the show. Really, he was just another character.
It'd be like an 8 episode like gear up montage of them just like yeah, here we go, he's coming back, and
then as soon as he would come back, he would just like, throw a wrench in all of their plans, and it would all just go to shit immediately. Because that's that's how the show would do it.
He got 2 3-eyed ravens. Fuck.
Yeah, I fucking forgot. I forgot.
So the Butcher like mind storm thing was kind of interesting. I liked that they kind of gave a little bit more of like why he still seems to be attached to Huey for some reason, even though they like kind of have had their like hot and cold moments with his like brother, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Lenny. Yeah. Lenny. That was okay. I this is gonna sound really dumb and nitpicky, but he's like talking to him as he's like loading the gun, and he loads the entire gun, and he's like, "Oh, our dad sucks. He beats me every day." He loads every chamber, and then he shoots himself. And it's like, why wouldn't you like shoot the dad?
That's what I thought. Yeah, when he was loading the whole gun, he started doing it. I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna kill himself. And then he loaded all of them. And I was like, oh no, he's gonna go try to kill their dad or something, and then that's gonna get him and kill. And then he shoots. That's like,
I think that was supposed to be what they were like hinting at, but we already knew that Lenny was dead, and we already knew that his dad was alive. So it's like, I guess you could maybe speculate that he was gonna go and try and kill his dad, and then his dad turned it around on him. But
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was like, but then it happened, and you're like, well, that's fucking dumb. Then it's dumb.
Yeah. Okay, I remember what I was gonna say, and it's a little awkward because I'm going back to the Homelander. The issue with the show is that like they've made the Seven and they've made Homelander such a central villain, such a central focus to where, like you said, it's like once he's dealt with, where do you go from there? Whereas, and kind of probably why I was like in the mindset of Game of Thrones is like you have Joffrey, who is like a really great villain that you love to hate, and he seems like the kind of, for a while, he seems like the end all, like, oh, we're gonna kill Joffrey, and then show's over, we killed the bad guy. But the thing is with that show is like up to that point, it has set up all of these other potential villains, or like, I mean, they are villains, but like potentials to like kind of take his place, so that when he does die, there's these few characters to kind of fill the void. Whereas, and the thing is with Game of Thrones is like the only thing that you really need to be a villain in that is you need to be cunning and you need to be ruthless. And the thing is with the boys is like you need to be a superhero, and they don't have enough or really any substantial like replacements for Homelander.
Well, Soldier Boy, I guess.
Yeah,
or Ryan.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose
Ryan.
Soldier Boy could be. I do really like Soldier Boy. I don't know if I said that, but I
do.
love.
Yeah,
I
I do
love Jankum Ankle's like performance. He does like a really good job of like that. Another like laugh out loud moment was after he killed the priest and the nun, and then he turns to Hugh and he's like, "First off, I don't have PTSD. Fuck you."
Yeah.
Because that's like, emasculating to have PTSD for a good old American boy.
Well, that is interesting because it was a nice little detail, and it makes me think of an old George Carlin bit. But did you notice that he called it shell shock?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the
what they
original
called it.
term.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
like
there's like a George Carlin bit where he talks about how language has been like so manipulated and changed that he's like shell shock. It was like this aggressive combination of words that you knew exactly what it was, and then it becomes this, and then it becomes this, and then it's become overly clinical to like post-traumatic stress disorder. And he's like, maybe if they were still calling it shell shock, like some of these people would have gotten the help that they needed. That was like the the crux of the bit. But I was like, oh yeah, that is what they would have called it from like back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
And they definitely really hammered on the fact that like he's supposed to be Captain America. They definitely hit on that with the Paul Reiser shit where he's like, oh yeah, he didn't storm Normandy. He just like he was there like 5 weeks later. He didn't he like had a garden hose, and that's like the whole thing in like the first Captain America movie where he like becomes a superhero and then like he gets all these powers and he does that chasing, and then it's like they just use him for like publicity to like buy bonds.
Yeah,
to
buy
support the
war.
war.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way I could see him becoming like the villain is like because he kind of seems like he doesn't give a shit. Like he just wants his revenge, and then he doesn't really have much motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it seems like he wants to be loved too, like Homelander, but Homelander is like he wants to be adored by the masses, where Soldier Boy just seems like he wants a family. Like he was really pissed off about Scarlet Curtain or whatever the fuck her name was.
Crimson
Curtain. And then like it's like he's like, oh, this is my son. Like he has no like attachment to it. It was like
it was like that's all he needed to hear.
Yeah, it was like he was a sperm donor.
Yeah.
Like literally a sperm donor.
Yeah,
and it's like he's like kind of like attached. So like I could see if they like tried to kill Homelander and he could like flip the switch and be like, oh, okay, well, you killed my son or you attacked my son and now it's father and son versus everybody else or something.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either, but
I suppose if you were going to have a replacement, he would probably be the best choice. Because, like, it's not going to be the Deep. That would be awesome. It's not going to be A-Train. It's not going to be, like, Noir, but it's almost like they're making him, like, a sympathetic character now. And also, like, he's not a... he's not the kind of person you make a main villain. Somebody who can't talk and you can't see their face, and
Right.
Well, that's kind of how Darth Vader was. He could speak though, but
there's a big difference between Darth Vader and Black Noir. I think.
I think it is interesting with the Deep how now that he's back in like his position that he's regressing and back into a shitty person. It seems like.
Yeah.
I don't
something
know
in this episode in particular.
Well,
he's not really in it. It seems like the only scene I remember him in is like the octopus sex scene.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. The part where he regresses is where he tries to get his wife to like have sex with this octopus with him.
I
Right.
wonder
And
if that's
then-
what you're saying, but like, it's not like he does it in a way that, you know,
Well,
a person would introduce like, hey, you want to like have a threesome? It's just
Yeah,
an
he's
octopus.
not
Like he
like-
does it in like a,
but
I guess as
yeah.
polite a way as you can do that. You know.
Yeah,
they-
it's not
they
a,
sort
it's
of-
not a rapey way, but
Yeah.
But they sort of have that conversation where she's like, I gave up a year of my life to help you, and he's just like, I don't need your help.
Yeah.
He like
Yeah.
he's
I see
building
that
up that
in that way,
confidence again, where he's just like, yeah, no, I'm awesome and a badass, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and it's like, no, every step of the way she's been there texting you like everything that you need to say, and it always ends up working.
But also,
I-
she does suck, so I didn't like really.
Yeah.
I was okay with him telling her off.
I didn't, just based on like what I can assume the politics of the show are, for a split second I was like, are they gonna get Sean Hannity to do like a guest thing? And like part of me was like, but that, I feel like Sean Hannity playing a satirical version of himself would make him seem like too sympathetic and like,
Yeah.
see, he can make fun of himself like the best of them. And I was
Yeah.
like, part of me, I was like, don't do it, please, because like they already make fun of like kind of like the Fox News, what's his
Tucker
name?
Carlson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like
Cameron
Cameron
Coleman, Cameron Crowe. Yeah, that was like another thing. Is I feel like they were getting into that. They were satirizing the Save the Children thing that was going on. I think it was like last summer. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, the like sex trafficking thing.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, because I think that was like a big. They were like, oh, was it Wayfair? They were saying that like,
Yeah.
the children are being like sex trafficked and like, oh yeah, it's a $2,000 cabinet named Jessica, huh?
Oh yeah.
But again, it's another one of those things where it's like, yes, there are elite like billionaires who like Jeffrey Epstein, like that kind of shit. It is real and it does happen. But like the part that like they always get wrong is they're like, and that's why like the Democrats do it. It's like it's not really a political thing. It's a power thing. It's a wealth thing. But like it's like they can't, merge those two ideas together.
Somebody I just realized could be the next villain is Nadia. And that actually would be kind of an interesting way to do it. Not just somebody who's like blatantly a superhero, because like, at first was, I guess, Homelander, but it was mainly whatever Elizabeth Shue's character's name was. She was kind of like the main bad guy, and then it kind of started to be Homelander, but then it was Gus Fring and
Gus Fring.
yes,
Yeah, kind of.
Stan and Homelander, and then it just became Homelander, but kind of a steady undercurrent the whole time has been Nadia. She's kind of like the pulling a little bit, pulling the strings from the background the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I could see like potentially there being like, depending on how long they go with it, but like there could be a thing where they put in somebody like really dumb and a not great villain, like the Deep, but he's just so inept that he's only there for like 2 weeks and gets ganked or something. But I could see like Nadia being kind of like the Emperor in Star Wars, where not fully like, I guess he does eventually, but not necessarily like front and center of like
Yeah.
oh, I'm the president of the world, but like she's got the ear of the president of the world kind of deal, and she's like manipulating everything behind the scenes. Again, unless I'd only want that to happen if like Homelander dies like in the next episode, because otherwise that's just going to make the show so much longer than
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
They need to get going, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't see this being any more than 5 seasons. Like it could be
Right.
it could be one more, but I'm feeling 2 more.
Yeah, and like Eric Kripke's other like big show, Supernatural, it was supposed to be 5 seasons, and then it ended up being like 16. So,
Oh my God.
but I'm pretty sure he left after the fifth. Like, it was like, oh, I wrote this. It's a 5-season arc basically, and after the 5th season, that'll be the end of the show. And then it was so popular that CW was like, it was the only popular show on the CW at that time, I'm sure. So like they just kept it going. And I think he left. So
Yeah, I can see that.
don't know. It could be that I think he knows when to stop.
Yeah. I don't know.
Amazon.
I don't think they'll drag it out. I think that the days of that kind of shit happening, like with like The Walking Dead, I don't know. I think I think they're smarter now. Like they know it's like, oh, like they've seen like the fall off of those types of shows, and they're like, I don't know. It's a different like different world, because then it was like AMC and CW, and this is like, no, these are like streaming service platforms. Like I don't know. It's like it's different. So hopefully, they don't just drag it kicking and screaming, and then it's like by the end of the thing, like Butcher's the only like original cast member left.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like back when pre-streaming, it was like your show had to be like 8 seasons or else it was a failure or something like that. You know what I mean? And now it's like 6 seasons maximum. Like
right.
Which is better. And I think like it's funny because it kind of came around with Breaking Bad, because I remember that was a big like sticking point with Vince Gilligan. He's like, I wanted to end this show like when I wanted it to. I didn't want it to go too long. I didn't want it to burn out. I wanted to end it when it was like at its height. He's like, because there was something like, AMC offered me like however many more seasons, but I knew I wanted to end it. It was going on this, and like that's always stuck with me, and it really feels like since then there has kind of been a soft cap on most shows that aren't something like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's like still a holdout from the pre-streaming days.
Yeah, true.
But that's also a little bit different because it's there's not necessarily like a through line through the whole show.
I know.
Yeah.
Somewhat. So like I think you can definently get away with that with those kind of shows.
I wasn't saying that It's Always Sunny should be done or whatever. I was just pointing out.
Yeah, you better not be.
I was just pointing out that one has almost 6 seasons times 3, so it's almost 3.
Yeah,
it's like a prestige TV show thing. Like that's that's the new norm with like these prestige shows.
Yeah. I mean,
Sopranos is only 6 seasons.
Right. It's when you have like through like plot lines that carry over season to season, episode to episode, season to season, and it's like, okay, like The Office. I brought that up earlier. It's like at first it was like pretty much the only thing people watched it for was Jim and Pam. Yeah. And then the Jim and Pam stuff happened, and it's like, okay, now we need something else. And there was stuff to keep it afloat for a little bit, but it's like, okay, there's nothing else though. There's nothing else. And I think a lot that happened with like Scrubs too, a little bit. I'm sure there's other examples. I'm just dumb right now, but yeah, it's just like just end it.
Let it die.
Let it die. It's like when you have an animal that's like dying, and it's dying of like some kind of like tragic illness, and it's like, oh, but I'll miss it. But okay, but for the last like 3 months of its life, you have to like carry it outside to go to the bathroom and feed it through a straw. And it's like the thing's just suffering. Just like
Sorry, I think that's a bit more complex than a TV show. So, feelings on that, so sorry.
No.
I don't think that's a great analogy, personally.
Don't let your animals suffer and piss themselves and be miserable.
I think there's more variables there, but
no.
Okay.
Did we do it?
I think
we
that's,
did it.
I think that's the end.
That's a weird note to end it on.
Yeah.
I have some other ones.
Okay.
Starlight says that growing up in Iowa is boring. I can confirm that. I've been through Iowa a few times. It fucking sucks there. There's nothing to do. It's corn, and that's it.
They have a giant gnome statue there. That was cool.
Great, cool. Another thing was we need to get moose. What is happening?
This is a much better note to end it on, I think. Is it puking?
His cat is taking a shit behind his portrait of himself.
She just spit up the biggest hairball.
Sweet. I bet it smells great in there.
I don't know. Speaking of letting animals suffer, Jesus Christ.
I think we need to get Moose just to watch like the last episode, because at one point Frenchie's like watching the video and he's like, "That's not gas, it's vapor." And I'm like, I think those are the same thing, my guy.
Oh, so we want to have our last episode be like an hour and a half long instead of a half hour.
Yeah.
So we can
No, that'll be one of our. We need to have just like, yeah, whatever. He can just like confirm it. He can do the studies and then he can
come on and
yeah, and just tell us
fact checked.
Yeah.
Our fact checkers say that this episode is inaccurate.
Yeah. Vapors are gas. That's pretty much it. Besides, I was also I thought it was weird that Kimiko was like, she opened up that whiskey bottle and gave it to Starlight, and she like chugged it, and she was like shocked, and then she drank a little bit. She's like, "Oh, that's my first time drinking." It's like, well, then how would you know that was a lot to drink? How would you have any concept of what's a lot? I don't know.
I suppose. Yeah.
I'm gonna murder my cat. Let's call it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
This feels like this episode has ended like 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be higher energy for the finale.
I'm sure we will be. Yeah.
If it's a good one.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll be. I'm sure if it's good or terrible, we'll be pretty heated either way.
Yeah.
So yeah, one more to go. I don't know. See you next week, I guess.
Woo.
Whoa.